What's going on, guys and gals? Kendall here with Renos for Pros and Joes, back with the next installment of the Master Bathroom Remodel series. So in this video, we are going to be painting with lasers, and I'm going to go ahead and get the lasers set up here on the stand, and I'm going to show you exactly why. In this particular bathroom, we've got high vaulted ceilings, and the area on the wall where the ceiling meets the wall does not have a hard angle or edge that would make it easy for us to be able to paint a cut-in line. And so we're going to be using the aid of a laser today to make our own cut-in line to make sure that we've got a crisp transition from our ceilings to our walls. So I've already calibrated this laser on the stand prior to turning the camera on. And that's why I'm turning it on, and that's exactly where I want it to be. Still doing a visual inspection here to make sure that it still remains exactly in the right location. I want to make sure that my laser line is at the top of the wall and is not too high and up onto the ceiling or in the curve of the ceiling. So just double checking for that. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like here. So there you can see from side to side, we've got the laser line that goes all the way around the room. We will be relocating it when we get ready to do the laser line on the other side of the room. So if you have seen my other videos dealing with paint, you may be able to guess what we're going to be doing next after I decide if I'm going to use the lights or to keep them off. I'm going to keep them off because it looks a lot better. We are going to be using the, guess what? What is it? Hand masker. That's right. So we're going to be going from side to side using the hand masker, and we're going to use our green tape and our paper here to make our border from where we want our cut-in line to stop. And so I'm just going to go from side to side, and my goal is to make sure that my green tape is just off of that laser line, and I want to keep it consistent from one side to the other. So you're going to see me slowly work from side to side here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this all the way across to make sure that I've got enough paper and tape to go all the way across in one continuous piece, and then I'll go ahead and set that to the side and begin to work everything out with any type of issues along this line. And so that's what you see me doing there, just making sure that I've got that green tape exactly where I want it along this line. One thing I want to point out is that when you're doing this, or if you choose to try to do this, you need to make sure that you're using a high quality tape that is not going to allow the paint to bleed. So do not try to do this with just regular tape or general purpose tape, because it's going to bleed and you're going to end up with a huge mess. So the green tape works very well for this type of thing. It helps to keep the paint blocked out. Another thing that I also want to share with you when doing this type of project, because we are going to immediately jump right into paint after I get this on the wall, is that I am going to go ahead and use a different tape here. I'm using a yellow tape, which is more delicate for recently painted surfaces, because I don't want to run the risk of peeling or pulling off the finish of the ceiling when I remove my paper and tape once we've painted this wall. And so it's also important to note that once we're done painting this wall, only a short period of time is going to pass before we remove the paper and tape. We don't want this stuff to dry up on the wall, because it can create a huge nightmare when it's time to take it off, and you can end up taking off paint and create a huge problem for yourself there as well. I'm just kind of showing you again that the laser goes all the way around, and you can see what's out of level in here when you look at these lasers. And so now I'm going to go ahead and turn this thing off and get ready to do some paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to cut in out of this corner here, and then we're going to jump into painting with the rollers. Got my light on here, and we're going to work over here with this 9-inch roller. So because we are working with the roller and we're going to be painting over the edge of this green tape, I'm not as concerned with getting the paint all the way up on the wall. I'm just going to go ahead and double check here to make sure that my green tape has got a really good bond here. And I'm going to roll all the way up over the edge of the green tape. As I said, I cannot stress enough, don't try this with a cheaper tape, because it's really going to tell on you, and you're going to be really upset with the results. So I'm just going to go from one side to the other here, and as you can see, I'm just double and triple checking here, because I don't want to have any seepage either. So I'm just going to triple check everything out, and just going to go ahead and roll and roll and roll and roll and roll. I'm just going to go ahead and just knock all this out really quickly, and I'm going to go ahead and go back over here and roll everything out. This is going relatively quickly. I could have chosen to do this by brush, but I couldn't guarantee that my line would be anywhere close to as clean as how this is going to come out. And so I'm just going to go ahead and cut in here along the top of this door frame with my brush, and then go back and roll it out again. Move the ladder one more time here and just knock out this little section over here by the window, and then we'll be ready to jump to the other wall. Cutting in this corner here with the brush really quickly, and then we're going to go back over here and roll this out here with the 9-inch roller. So I didn't end up using the short roller at all on this wall, but I think when I do the other wall, I'm going to change it up and use the short roller to do my first pass right along this tape line, and then I'll jump to the 9-inch roller to cut with the large spaces. That about does it over there. Got my camera set up over here in our new location. Now, let's try this again. Must have had a technical difficulty there, but we're going to get it squared away here in just 1 second. All right. Great. So as you can see here, this is almost the exact same setup as it is on the other side, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to pull from right to left on this side, making sure that we've got everything exactly the way we want it. I've already leveled everything up and made sure that that laser is exactly how I want it. And just going to pull my paper and tape from one side to the other. Also going to be using that yellow tape to hold this side in place as well. Now, as you're doing this, you want to try and make sure that you can able to use one piece of tape and one piece of paper if possible, because this will help you eliminate those gaps and other unsightly things along your cut-in line. So we want this thing to basically be flawless. So that's why I'm working up and down the ladder and keeping the hand masker in hand and holding it up to make sure that I don't pull my paper down and don't compromise the work I've already done. Now, if you notice there, I accidentally tore that off short. So that's really unfortunate. I'm going to have to actually tear off a little short piece to bridge that last 4 or 5 inches there to that wall. Not a huge problem, but I always prefer to just try to get it all done with one piece of tape and one piece of paper. So now we're going to go ahead and put that yellow tape up there and get everything in place. As you can see, our laser line is looking good. Looks like we're just below the bottom of our green tape here. And in just 1 second, we're going to be able to go ahead and start painting on this side. Now, note on this wall that there are more things we've got to work around. We've got 2 doors on this wall, as well as the top of the shower enclosure. So I'm going to cut in the top of the shower enclosure with the brush, and then I'm going to actually use the paper and the tape to mask off the edges of the door casing right here in the middle where it's really, really tight, because that space can't be really painted very well with a roller. So now I'm going to put in this little small piece up here on the top here and try to make sure that it's right on top of the other piece there. Get it exactly the way that I want it. Have to work with this thing. As I said, if you can get it all done in one piece, do yourself a favor and do that so you don't have to go back and try to play with this thing like what I'm doing right here. So now I've got it like I want it. Time to go ahead and start rolling. So I'm cutting in right here with that small roller like I told you that I would, and you can see that it's much, much faster. The small roller is just not providing as much risk of getting it up on the wall, and I can just paint with a little bit more peace of mind. So now I've jumped to the 9-inch. I'm back on the short one here, and I'm just kind of going back and forth and just using whichever one makes it easier to get the work done. So now I'm going that masking that I was telling you about earlier in between these 2 doorways, because I essentially just want to be able to run my brush up and down between these 2 spaces and get everything and have a clean paint line on both sides. So I'm just going to make sure that I take proper care to get my tape and paper exactly the way that I want it. There you see I'm going back and readjusting here and getting everything exactly the way I want it. So now I'm working with my brush here, painting along the top. Then I'm going to paint the top edge of this shower enclosure here. I'm going to go up in that corner. And now we're getting back to it with the 9-inch roller. You can see when you start working with the 9-inch roller that it really puts a lot more paint on the wall. And so we go up and down, up and down, up and down. We made really short work of this wall as well. This is the first coat, so we will be going back over all of this again to apply our second coat, but we're not going to get into that today. And now the moment we've all been waiting for, the reveal. Let's see if we can set the critics straight on this one. So we're going to slowly pull this off. kind of with a rolling motion to try to do our best to make sure that we do not have any issues and we've got it all down. And let's take a look at that. That is a razor sharp cut-in line, ladies and gentlemen. Razor sharp. Hopefully you found this video informative. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.